I'm your big brother, so I'm gonna teach you a lot of different stuff, okay?
The great power of animation is that it can take us places live action can't. And within the anime landscape, the exciting contemporary voice Mamoru Hosoda is exploring one of the most interesting territories no camera can enter: the insides of the human soul. Hosoda, whom some have called the next Miyazaki, that titan of the medium, is the director of Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast, and Summer Wars. And now he has a new film coming out that currently holds a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and was a hit with critics at Cannes. It's called Mirai, and it's a surreal twist on the story of a toddler adjusting to the emotional turmoil of becoming a big brother.
Knock it off! It's her nap time. You need to let her sleep.
So as we get excited for Mirai, let's take a look at Hosoda's filmography to help us see why this director stands out in today's anime world.
First, I'll take you outside, and I'm gonna teach you the names of all the bugs. Dragonfly! And then I'll show you how you can see things in the clouds.
Never turn your back on family, even when they hurt you. Never let life get the better of you.
Always central to Hosoda is the theme of family.
日的だし、やっぱ家族そのものっていうのがやっぱり時代とともに変化してるし、変化してる分だけ描く必要のあるモチーフであるし。
Hosoda told Variety that Mirai was inspired by what he learned from watching his son throw tantrums over having a baby sibling. He said, "I saw the raw and bare soul of a human being. Humans can't survive without love. That's what I learned from my 3-year-old son." Hosoda has also said that for him, family is a motif that gets at the mystery of how children develop and the wonder of that process.
You want me to take your training wheels off? Like right now? You want to ride completely on your own?
Hosoda's films focus on basic relationships, like a brother and a sister, a parent and a child, a boy and a girl falling in love. There's something deceptively simple about these stories. We can all relate. We've all been there. On a deeper level, they're encouraging us to see life from more perspectives than just the limited view I have as this individual right now in time. Mirai is told simultaneously from the points of view of the toddler, his parents, the neglected family dog, and a variety of family members at other stages of life in different times. This is something we can't do in real life. Fast forward to the point when your baby sister can express herself.
But if you won't help me, then you leave me no choice. We'll have to play the B game.
Or get to know what your mom was like before she was your mom.
Won't you get in trouble for doing that?
Probably, but it's funner when it's messy.
Even talk to the spirit of your dog.
The prince?
Yeah, of this house.
But don't we sometimes really wish that we could? So there's a joyous fulfillment here of a fantasy that we may not even be conscious of having.
So good! So good! So good!
Even more profoundly, Hosoda is getting at a deeper truth about our human experience. That we're made up of all the people we were once and will be. And while others may view us as that distinct role that we're playing in this instant, our inner experience is a lot more complex and fluid. A mom might still feel very much like a child even when she has to be the firm authority figure. A toddler may only have a few years of life under his belt, but his pain over having to share his parents' love with a new baby is a primal emotional reaction that we continue to feel in some form no matter how old we get. Hosoda's films show how animation can give visible form to our inner worlds and feelings. The director zeroes in on simple, universal relationships, and then brings in fantastical elements to dramatize these relationships. So he uses animation to create a deeply symbolic storytelling. Here's what we mean by that. In a lot of stories, there may be a whole bunch of magical elements that don't correspond to any direct intended meaning. But in Hosoda, the magic is there to directly express the character's inner conflicts, emotions, and relationships. And this surreal layer brings out what usually stays under the surface in our own seemingly mundane or normal situations. The result is a story that speaks to us about what's going on in our lives, that manages to reveal something we didn't notice before about our everyday realities. It's finding a more out-of-the-box way to break through. So in Mirai, the family members getting to see each other in different phases of life expresses how we want to relate to and understand our family with this kind of intimacy. But we struggle to do that in real life because we're separated by time and by the distance between where we each fall in the life cycle. In Wolf Children, a parent's struggle to let her children choose their own paths is expressed symbolically in the story of a human mother raising kids who are half human, half wolf.
But now that they're spreading their wings, it's tough, you know?
She has to watch them eventually decide whether to lead adult lives as people or as animals.
Wolves are people. We didn't know how to be either yet.
Many of us probably agree to some extent with the idea in theory that parents should allow their kids freedom to be themselves. But watching a mother accept that her 10-year-old son chooses to live as a grown-up wolf in the forest is more painful to wrap our minds around.
This is what you want?
It accesses in a new way what all parents experience as they have to let go of control over their children's lives.
You'll be fine.
In The Boy and the Beast, the father-son relationship is expressed as a dynamic between a beast and a human.
Well, every father in the world enjoys it when his son imitates him, doesn't he?
And a young person's battle with darkness gets made literal, as a black hole inside the chest.
What if this boy gets possessed by that darkness? Have you stopped to consider that? He could grow up to become a terrible monster. Monster?
In The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, the painful intricacies of young love and missed opportunity are explored through the concept of time travel.
I'll be waiting for you.
In Summer Wars, Hosoda said he was inspired by his own marriage and first experiences with having in-laws. All of a sudden, you can, quote, make a deep connection with a total stranger.
Please, Kenji, take good care of Natsuki.
I don't really believe in myself.
So he translates this in-laws experience into the story of a boy pretending to be a girl's fiancé at her big family gathering.
Yeah, Kenji's my fiancé, actually.
And how he ends up having to bond together with these near strangers in her family to fight a dangerous hacker of a Second Life-esque network called Oz.
You can do this! You're the only one who can break through the code! Solve it!
One of the things that makes this symbolic storytelling satisfying is the way the director uses specific, arresting images to visually crystallize the story's themes. He has a talent for letting symbolic moments breathe, lingering on them so they stay in our heads after the film ends. In The Boy and the Beast, the image of the sword inside Kyuta's soul visualizes one of the movie's main messages, that strength means never giving up, never allowing yourself to be beaten. And the outcome of the fight is inside of you.
You need to grab hold of the sword that's in here, in your soul. You have one, don't you?
He said he would be the sword in your soul!
Near the end of Wolf Children, Yuki stands by the window during a storm, the wind blowing in her hair, and the curtain crosses over her face just as she reveals her wolf identity to the boy she cares for. The beauty of the image underlines the beauty of her dual identity, and it communicates to us that this friend of hers can see that beauty and accept her as she is.
All this time, I knew. Don't be afraid. I never told anyone. And I'm never gonna.
Unlike most people in her world who hate and fear wolves.
How come the wolf always has to be the bad guy, huh?
The moment also calls back to the scene when Yuki's mother first saw her father as a wolf and was able to accept him as no one else could. So in this movie, that kind of acceptance is very much equated with love.
Are you scared?
No, I'm not. Because it's you.
In The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, we get an extended sequence of our teen protagonist and her love walking through a crowded intersection in Tokyo, evocative of the famous Shibuya crossing, while the busy commuters are all frozen around them. We also get plenty of sequences of physically leaping through time, expressing that blind faith of the adolescent that they can go back and fix any problem through sheer willpower and good intentions.
I can always go back and do things over as many times as I want.
In examples like these, the imagery has both a playful literalness and a good-hearted humor to it.
So, what are you keeping in your treasure box? Ready? Yeah, show it! Ta-da!
Hosoda's films reveal that what we're experiencing all the time in our families, our love lives, our growing up, is deeply dramatic and profound, even if we don't realize it much of the time.
You gonna be all right?
Teach me.
They encourage us to make and value human connections, to be generous with each other,
You're where you belong!
to accept that change is central to life, and to appreciate the gift of family in whatever form we experience it. After watching, we can take this awareness into our lives and look at experiences from multiple points of view in order to more richly understand and appreciate each other and ourselves. As he reimagines our everyday journeys as epic and fantastical, Hosoda pushes us to confront emotional challenges with gravity, depth, and respect, and to arrive, finally, at a place of human warmth, acceptance, and love. Thanks for watching, and be sure to catch Mirai in theaters starting on November 29th. Whether you're a die-hard anime fan or a total newbie, we think you'll enjoy Mirai as much as we did, so don't miss it. Go to gkids.com/Mirai for tickets and showtimes.
Can we play it again?